Hello, Pocket Gopher racers. I'd like to welcome both the 5-hour and the 12-hour teams to the pre-race brief. A couple of things real quick up front. I have teenagers upstairs tonight, so it's probably going to be loud and you're going to hear laughing. But we'll get through it. Second thing is, if I had a theme for this race, it would end up being change, change, change. As many of you seen in the email, right now, currently, the river is closed. The river that we were going to use hasn't historically flooded in 20 years, and that just seems to be our luck. But we have a plan. So I need everyone to pay attention to their email. There's going to be, obviously, the email coming out with this video. I'll come out with an email tomorrow, probably tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. As soon as I have information, I'll let you know. Right now, currently, the plan is, regardless of whether we use the river or not, we'll still all meet at Welch. So the 12-hour teams, you'll meet in the morning at your time, and the 5-hour teams will meet at your time. If the river goes even higher and we have to move the start line, we do have a plan for that, but it's not going to get announced until late. Probably late Friday night. I'm going to try and hold off on making that call until as late as possible, but we do have an alternate starting location, and we're already talking about moving things around and what the plan is if we have to do that. So that's just kind of real quick, the changes. Now let's go on. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to go ahead and give the race briefing as if the course is as is, and I'll talk about a couple of alternate scenarios as we go along, and then we'll make changes as we go. So real quick, now introduction, I should have started with that. My name is John Harris. I've been a race director currently for the past couple years. Before that, I spent 10 years on active duty in the military as an infantry guy, and we did, I've planned a lot of orienteering courses. I planned a lot of ranger competitions, and done a lot of things very similar to adventure racing. But I just recently stepped into adventure racing directing. I was trying to think, because I ran Rib Mountain, for those of you who are up at Rib. I think it's around 111 races now. Most of those races I've ran as a solo. Recently, I've started running with some different teams, and that's been a lot of fun. And I'm also very excited, just on a personal note, this next March I'll be racing with a 4-man team in Brazil on a 6-day expedition race. So we're really looking forward to that. All right, enough of that. So what we're going to do, anybody that knows me or anybody that's raced the Pocket Gopher races before know that one of the biggest things that I like is, I for lack of a better term, I'm going to say I'm an old school racer. And this race is going to be an old school race. And what I mean by that is, I think a lot of times, especially smaller adventure races, have gotten pigeonholed into segments of bike and run, and you're going to see some of that, obviously, especially if the canoe gets shut down. But we're going to make this course as wide open as we can possibly make it. Probably more wide open than any other course that you've ran on before. But along with that same theme of old school is, I don't have electronic punches. I don't have electronic cards. I don't like hearing beeps in the woods. I like to go out in the woods, and I like to have a good time. So this is what you'll see. This is our points. Very cool. It's a PVC pipe painted orange and white. Same as a reflective marker. It actually does a very good job. You can see this checkpoint, and it has this little staple clicker below it that you just click. You'll also see down here, you'll see a control number. For some reason, this clicker leaves. The clicker falls off, or someone steals the clicker, then all you have to do is write down the control number on your card. So that brings us to the next thing. So after you get to the point, you come here, and your cards look like this. Very simple. All you do, find your point, hold it up to the little thing, press it one time, press it firmly, make sure it goes all the way through. These cards are waterproof, so that they shouldn't rip or tear, but you do want to take good care of them. They'll have your name, your team number, your time in and your time out, and this is pretty much your life. This is pretty much determines what you do in the race. I'm sure most of you have raced with these before. They've been around for a long time. They're used a lot in orienteering courses before the electronic stuff came in, and they're still very effective. So that's what we use. Next thing I want to talk about is maps. So in this, for both the 12 hour, and I should say everything, if there's something specific for 5 hour or 12 hour, I'll say it. Okay, for everyone, this year, I've decided to put together a master map. The master map is 48 inches by 36 inches. Doesn't sound as big when you're putting it together until I received them in the mail. They're big maps, but the advantage is you don't have to piece together maps. You don't have to tape together maps. You don't have to cut things. You're not flipping from one side of the map to another. The entire race course for the 5 hour and the 12 hour is on one single 1/30,000 map. Now, in addition to that, there are some supplemental maps. There are supplemental maps so that the supplemental maps blow up an area on the large map, so that, and they may be 1/12,000, they may be 1/7,500. I don't remember. I think I have 4 supplemental maps. I think it's maybe 3 for 5 hour and 4 for 12 hour, but there are supplemental maps. You will need all of the maps. Now, the biggest thing, this applies to the 5 hour and the 12 hour. The race is not divided into segments. As I said, for right now, kind of divide the race into halves. So there's going to be, if we do the canoe section, 12 hour folks are going to start at the start line. You're going to take the canoe down, and you have options in this race for both 12 hour and 5 hour. There are canoe points on the water. Or if you are looking at your master map or looking at your supplemental maps and you want to pull your boat over to the side and you want to run up a road and get a checkpoint, that's up to you. I don't care. So there is no, you must get this checkpoint on your bike or you must get this checkpoint on your canoe. If you want to stop, if you want to blow right on by and go to TA1, you can do that. If you want to blow on by and go to TA2, you'll see on the map, you can do that as well. Most of you are going to stop on the 12-hour races. You're going to stop in TA1. Now, the next section is, or the next part is, make sure you read your course instruction. Meesville Ravine Park is foot only. Those checkpoints can only be gotten by foot, meaning you got to walk or run to get there. Now, that doesn't mean you can take your canoe to Meesville. You can take your bike to Meesville. You can take your bike around Meesville and come into the park at several different angles. I will have a TA there that will watch your canoes or bikes if you choose to do the whole Meesville Ravine on foot. However, if you want to jump on a bike and let's say you go up to, checkpoint 14 and you say, okay, I'm going to hike in and I'm going to find 5 and 8 from 14, that's okay. That's permitted. That's fine for both the 5-hour and the 12-hour races. With that in mind, all of where the 5-hour is rural farm country. But each team, you may still, if you guys are really worried about it, you may still want to carry a bike lock and a chain or whatever you want to use. You can chain it to a tree. Or me personally, I wouldn't worry. And when I was putting out the checkpoints, I often didn't even take the keys out of my Jeep. However, having said that, I know some of you have some very expensive bikes. So if you're going to park your bikes outside the TA, sorry, I keep hitting my laptop because it keeps going black. If you're going to park your bikes outside the TA and look for points on foot or go at it at a different angle, you are responsible for your bikes for both the 5-hour and the 12-hour. Let's see. Welch is the city. Welch, Minnesota is where we're meeting. It's actually at the Welch, where everyone is going to is the Welch Canoe place. It's called Welch Canoes. It's like Welch Canoe and Tubing or something like that. But the bottom line is Welch is literally like 6 buildings. I'll have, for those of you who see me before, I have a green bus. For those of you who don't know, I have a green minibus that was converted into an RV. It's going to be parked right in Welch. Trust me, you can't miss it. You cannot miss Welch. It's like 3 streets that come together, 3 rural streets that come together, and like 4 buildings. And by the way, one of them's a bar that is open for those of you who like adult beverages. And the other is the canoe place. And the other is I don't remember what else is there. But anyway, so we're going to meet at Welch. Whether you're a 5-hour team or a 12-hour team, everybody's going to meet at Welch. Unless the river goes too high to meet at Welch. And then I'll put out in an email where we're going to meet. And we will have someone at Welch. And I'll make sure my phone number is on there. If we have to go to an alternate start, we'll make sure everybody gets there. So right now, everybody plan to come to Welch. The problem in Welch, to make this even more fun, is there is 0 cell phone coverage in Welch. So you either got to be on high ground or you got to go a little bit above or below Welch in order to get cell phone coverage. But we'll work it out. But right now, as of this video, everybody's still meeting at Welch at their designated start time. Again, I kind of went over Meesville Ravine. And by the way, both Welch and Meesville and Red Wing are all, you know, again, I'm not going to run around and watch you, but, you know, don't, points are already set, so don't go into Meesville Ravine, you know, in the next day and a half. I don't know why anybody would want to do that anyway, but, you know, just letting you guys know. I think a lot of people are camping at Hay Creek or staying at Red Wing or staying at Northfield, so just letting you all know. All right, so 5-hour folks. That's pretty much your course. Your course is going to be all in rural. It's not going to be in any cities. All of your mountain biking will be on either gravel or pavement. You have your canoe. You'll have your foot points. But again, you guys are going to have to make the decision. Where do I get out of my canoe? Where do I get on my bike? What checkpoints do I want to find by foot? What checkpoints do I want to find by bike? Which does bring me to another point I should have put out. All bikes and canoes, everything, if you're bringing your own canoe, a couple 12-hour teams are. If you're bringing your own canoe, bring it to Welch. All bikes come to Welch. Everything goes to Welch. You don't have to worry about dropping anything off at a bike drop point or anything like that. Everything, your bikes will always stay with your vehicle in Welch. You can take any extra food, any extra, I don't know, repair parts, anything that you want, anything you want to leave at your car in Welch, you can leave in Welch. That doesn't mean, because I don't know how you're going to do the course. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to come back to your vehicle. Again, when you get your map, you'll understand what I'm talking about. If not, I'll be there. You can ask questions, but you'll see, and you're going to have to make the decision. Do I return to my car? Do I not return to my car? What do I do? It's all in what's best for your team. And I can't emphasize that enough. So 5-hour folks, if you guys want to take a break for a second, I'm gonna talk to the 12-hour people real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. So give me like 5 minutes. My goal is to try to keep this race video under 20 minutes. I'm at 13 minutes now. All right, 12-hour people, you will be leaving Welch, and at some point you will be moving towards the city of Red Wing. At least I hope you're moving towards the city of Red Wing, because there is a section, locally we call it the Bluffs. Everybody knows it as the Bluffs. It's Barnes Bluff, where Barnes Bluff is required to be done on foot. TA2, which is where you'll check your bikes in, that is the only place that 12-hour people must check in. Now, when you go through headquarters, if you go through TA1, I would appreciate it if you gave us a shout and said, hey, you know, just so we can kind of know where you are. But again, I don't want to dictate how you run this and what segment you run when. However, I do need to know that you're on Barnes Bluff. And the only way you can get there is take your bike there, unless you want to run a long, long way. So you're going to take your bike to Barnes Bluff. So you're going to check in at Barnes Bluff and check out. You must stay on the trails in Barnes Bluff. Every point is on the trail. Now, Barnes Bluff is a very popular tourist attraction, and that's one of the reasons I included it. So that's the only place where the points are about waist to knee high, rather than, you know, shoulder width height. because they're right where they're supposed to be, but they're kind of hidden from the tourists. Because one, I didn't want to take away from the tourists, and two, I didn't want anybody to steal the points. Not that I care about a piece of PVC. I just didn't want I want you guys to have points to be able to find. So just think waist and below. You won't be able to miss them. They're like literally right on the trail. And one of your supplemental maps is a trail map. My whole goal is for you guys to get to experience Barnes Bluff. It's an amazing feature. I wanted you guys to do some nav up there. There are designated trails, but you will also see signs that say danger falling, not an approved trail. None of my checkpoints are on a non-approved trail. However, some of the non-approved trails are faster to get from A to B. However, if you take them at your own risk. I advise as a race director that you stay on the approved trails. You'll probably see them out there Saturday because it's going to be a super nice day. Barnes Bluff is famous for rock climbing in the Midwest, so you're going to see a lot of climbers. We use those alternate routes. I climb out there a lot. So we use those alternate routes to set up climbing points or to tear down gear. So it's kind of our way to move around the mountain. But every year in Red Wing, 4 or 5 people die on the bluffs. If you stay on the designated trails, nothing will happen to you. I promise you. Unless you're just totally make a mistake. So you're going to be fine. Also, so as you're going to Barnes Bluff, you're going to move through Red Wing. And I did this on purpose. I don't have any safety checkpoints. I'm not giving you a route through Red Wing. You can bring money. There's food. Red Wing's a big city. You need to pay attention and follow all of the Minnesota state biking laws. But there is McDonald's, there's Pizza Hut, you can buy boots, shoes, you can stop at steakhouse if you want to. But no, seriously, if you wanted water, if you wanted something, you just need to. I trust that you guys bike every day to train. If you're nervous about biking through the city, stay near the river. The river is, if you stay right next to the river, it'll be longer to get there, but you won't run into any traffic at all. Again, I want to point out, I don't care. So that the next section that you're going to be going to is Memorial Park. Memorial Park, you can do Memorial Park on foot or you can do Memorial Park on bike. It's set up to be single track mountain biking. It's set up, for those of you who ski, it's set up like a ski system. There are greens, blues, black diamonds, and double black diamonds. All of my points on Memorial Park are reachable via either green or blue trails. Having said that, there are faster ways to get there, going down black or double black or up or down or sideways or however you choose to navigate. But I want to caution you of 2 things. One, I should say, it's a playground. Memorial Park is absolutely amazing. I really hope you guys enjoy it. Skyline Drive. If you choose to go, and you'll see this on your maps, if you choose to go from Barnes Bluff to Memorial Park, the only way to get there is via Skyline Drive. You're gonna go through the city, but you're most likely gonna come up Skyline Drive. If you come up Skyline Drive, be extremely careful. There's going to be picnickers, and there's a frisbee golf course up there. And just people running around on Saturday. It is steep, it is switchbacky, and it's not worth wrecking a bike or wrecking into someone to take 3 extra minutes to get up or down Skyline Drive. Skyline Drive is 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 different entrances that allow mountain bikes to get into the park. They're all marked on your map. Most of you will come in from either, I think it's Bush Avenue or Skyline, but that doesn't mean you have to. Again, this is your decision. I'm just telling you, if you move from Bush to Skyline, you're going to see it on your map. If you move from Bush to Skyline, you're going to be going down Skyline. So be very careful. If you move from Skyline to Bush, you're going to be going up Skyline, which is, to me, is not as dangerous, but you still got to watch for oncoming traffic. But there's other ways. again, depending on your bike skill level, there are other ways, there are other entrances into the park. But just, just be advised. All right, so 5-hour, 12-hour people. So hopefully 5-hour people, you've grabbed your drink and you're back to the video. I'm at 20 minutes. I'm almost done. I got 2 more things I want to put out. One is safety, safety, safety. Again, it's very important to me. I wanted to go back to developing a course that was wide open. There's the problem with a wide open course is I'm not going to know where you are. So again, if you're a 12-hour racer, you have to check into TA2. If you're a 5-hour racer, you don't really have to check into any place. Most likely you're going to check into TA1. If you do, give us a shout. Now, to counteract that, I've got volunteers that are going to be all over the course. If they ask you for your number, please just give it to them. They're jotting down numbers. The cell phone coverage is limited, so we're using a combination of walkie-talkies and cell phones. We just want to be able to say, hey, somebody saw team 126 over by checkpoint 17. So if we don't, unlike other races, I'm sure all of you have been on, where we can look and say, oh, they're between TA1 and TA2. I'm not gonna know that. So we're gonna keep track of you. But I also know that all of you are responsible racers, and I'm excited for this format. I really am. But I'm just saying, if a volunteer is not being nosy, if they ask to check in, other than Welch, there's cell phone coverage everywhere else. You'll have my number. Will be on the race instructors. My daughter's number will be on there. For those of you who know her, she was a river crossing girl last year. She's the picture girl. She'll be out there. And there'll be several others out there too. So if you need us, give us a call. Obviously, everywhere but Welch, you can reach 911 as well. If you feel it's an absolute emergency, then absolutely call 911. But if you can, I would, if it's not, I would appreciate, you give me a call, let me know, and we'll get help out there to you. For those of you who are first-time racers, I don't want you to be fearful of this course. If you need help, ask me, because this is a lot of fun. You get to make a lot of decisions. You get to decide what you want to do, and this is going to be a course that just because you see Team A running off to the east and you think, oh my gosh, I'm going to the west, well, they may have a total different way that they're going about the course. So believe in yourself and trust in yourself. And I just, again, in closing, I want to say thank you guys very much for each and every one of you. I know that, times are tight right now. Times are tough. And I truly appreciate it. As your race director, I appreciate you guys choosing the Pocket Gopher Challenge. I hope you find it just as wonderful as I did, and as fun as I did designing the course. It's like no other course I've designed. I absolutely can't wait to hear the stories. I'll be out there on the course as well. So again, I just say safe travels as you're coming in, and please, please, please check your email. Look for communication from me, tonight, tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. I'm going to keep everybody in a loop, and if we have to move due to high water, I know we'll make it happen. So, but as of right now, tonight, Thursday night, everybody's still meeting at Welch on Saturday at your respective time. Again, thank all of you, and I went to 23 minutes. I don't have my old man glasses on. 24 minutes. All right, take care, guys.